So quite a few of you have been waiting a while for this SUPboarder review. This is the review of the Quroc 12.6 all-water touring board. So this is the second board to come from the paddleboard brand Quroc. Last year we reviewed the 10.6 crossover, which came out really well as an all-round iSUP. This is aimed at the more faster touring cruising, with maybe a slight bit of race to it too. The size and specifications of this board: 12'6" long, 31 inches wide, 6 inches thick. Because of that, it comes in at 265 litres in volume. When we weighed it, it weighs 9.5 kilograms and it's fitted with a standard US box. And it comes complete with a carbon 3-piece paddle and a top end pump at a package price of $749. The materials of the board is finished off with a drop stitch internal core with 3 layers of PVC finished off with their monocoque fusion technology. And this has a new material in this board this year down the rails. It's finished off with carbon strips as well. So let's have a closer look at the 12.6 all-water and see what you get in your package. So a relatively large bungee area up at the front. You can slide your dry bags in for when you're doing your touring and cruising. Right up at the nose there, really nice feature. It has a ram mount thread and GoPro attachment you can slide straight into the board. Really nice to have that fitting on the board ready to go, because many of us have already got the GoPro sort of clip-in mounts. You can just put it on there and clip it in and away you go. And we used it and it worked really well. Moving back onto the deck pad, very similar styling deck pad to the Quroc crossover. Big chunky diamond grip EVA deck pad finished right to the back of the board, and also there is a kick pad as well. Another thing to have that you might not use that much, but when you want to use it, it's there. A great little feature, that one. The handles on the board: a wide base canvas handle wrapped in neoprene up at the front there, and a really nice and neatly finished off handle at the back just behind the kick pad. Obviously you've got your pressure valve, leashing point at the back, and there is a stainless D-ring up at the nose underneath as well. The actual outline shape of the 12.6 all-water isn't anything that we haven't seen before, but it's exactly the sort of shape you want for a touring SUP. Generally quite long, relatively narrow in the width, pulled into the tail, still offers you a bit of stability around the tail, but really this board is designed for paddling fast and going long distances. But there is definitely one thing that we haven't seen on any other iSUPs we've tested. It has a very nice little flip of nose kick right at the tip of the nose there. Very good for paddling when you're paddling in choppy conditions or you've got weight on the board. You can still don't have too much water over the nose of the board. So this relatively is quite a dry board. Really works well in choppy conditions going upwind or downwind. We're not talking about big waves here. The nose just keeps the board out of the water, and it really works well having the extra just little tip up at the nose there. Turning the board over, you can really see that extra little bit of nose kick right at the last foot, and the board just stays flat right towards the back of the fin. The fin box is well finished with a good shape, and it comes as standard with an FCS SUP Series Touring 9-inch fin. A great shape fin for general touring and racing. It doesn't catch on debris or seaweed, and also because it's like a high density plastic, it's very hard wearing and nice and stiff, and actually it's relatively not too heavy. So moving on to our deflection test, which is where we put our iSUPs on a stand with a gap of 1.5 meters apart, and we put a weight of 75 kilograms in the middle, and then we see how much the board has dropped. This board dropped 14 millimeters, which is pretty stiff really. This board was pumped up to 18 psi, so definitely the carbon rails are really helping to give it that stiffness. When you're on the water, you can't really feel the boards flex or bend at all when you're putting in your paddle strokes, and also if you put a large amount of weight up on the nose, it still can handle that and it doesn't bend or flex at all. So what is it like to paddle? Well, because of the nice big US box 9-inch fin, it keeps you a nice straight line when you're tracking. Very easy to paddle, and like I said before, it handles a lot of wide range of conditions. A lot of chop on this board. It's not an issue going upwind or downwind in moderate sea states. Definitely got a little bit of width there at 31, so it's nice and stable, but it's not as stable as the 32 wide boards you get on the market. But because of that, it is actually quite quick, so you could enter sort of your first race with this, or just getting to paddling faster in general on an iSUP. Being 31 wide, it does offer that sort of all-round capabilities of touring, yes, but also a bit of racing and fast cruising as well. So let's have a quick look at the rest of the package: the bag, paddle and pump. So starting off looking at the bag, it's finished with a pretty heavy duty black ripstop nylon. It's got handles completely everywhere, a large area, easy, it carries your board and pump. Wheels underneath, pretty heavy duty wheels actually, and it's finished off with the backpack and waist strap, as you would expect to see on many other top end brand bags. Now I don't know what to show you next, the pump or the paddle, because both of them are pretty good. Starting off with the pump then. This year, the new 2018 All Water Quroc comes with the GRI triple action pump. We reviewed it about 8 months ago with a pump test, a standalone pump test. A very good, well-made pump, really solid, quite heavy, but very secure and very solidly made. This has 3 settings that you can adjust when pumping the board. So setting 1 is max capacity, setting 2 is medium pressure, and setting 3 is max pressure. So basically 3 settings to make pumping it up as quick and easy as possible. Great pump. We were pretty impressed with it when we tested it about 6 months ago, and it's nice that it comes with a board of this price. So moving on to the paddle, this is Quroc's Pure Carbon V-Blade paddle. This is quite an impressive bit of kit, to be honest, that comes with a package of this price. So let's have a look at the fitting so far. It's a clip sort of fitting there with a push pin, works really nicely, and then when it goes together, it's a solid feel of a paddle and it doesn't twist or flex at all. At the top here, another clip system, very similar. In fact, I think it is the same clip system as in the midsection. Sliding piece that you'd expect to see on other panels, but it also has got the sort of groove in the carbon shaft that stops the paddle from twisting. A very good move. Then you can have a nice clip system and it doesn't twist in the slightest. Because of all that, you can keep the weight down. This is a fairly lightweight paddle, and also the blade itself is a nice shape, full carbon with a V pattern in the center here, which is really nice at holding the water and giving you a very stable paddle when you're putting the paddle in and out of the water. To get this with a package is an absolute winner. A very nice paddle that I'd be happy to tour with it and take it places. So if you're getting this as a first time paddler, this is a very nice paddle to come with a package. So looking at pros and cons and value for money, well, pros, it is a very well-made board that comes with a really nice package and it's a very good shape. And cons, well, definitely we do like to come up with cons for boards if we can possibly find one, but this board doesn't really have any, to be honest. At the price point it is, which brings in value for money at £749, GRI triple action pump, 3-piece carbon paddle, and a fairly decent backpack. I mean, it is a very good price point board. Maybe cons, if you're looking at it for full-on touring, it'd be nice if it had some bungee straps at the back there, but for a touring fast cruising board, it really does what it says it should do, and it does it pretty well. So who do we think this board will best suit? Well, definitely you're going to be weighing 50 kilograms to about 105 kilograms. You could be a beginner paddler, or you could be a more experienced paddler wanting to go fast. Generally, this sort of board really suits somebody who's wanting to do river cruising, light touring, maybe a bit of racing. You're not really so much more into the waves, then you'd be looking at the shorter base boards. Definitely for full-on tourers, maybe you'd be looking at something with a bit more of a bungee tie-down area at the back as well, something a bit more width. But this is a very nice all-round fast touring board that's going to get a lot of people from beginner to intermediate to advanced on the water at a good price. Hope you found that SUPboarder review of the Quroc 12.6 All Water interesting, and it's going to help you understand if this board is right for you. If you want to find out more information about what we feel about this board deep down and other brands to compare it to, check out SUPboarder Pro, where we go into a bit more detail. And remember to check out SUPboarder Mag for the full stats and slider breakdowns for this board. But until next time, we'll see you on supboardermag.com or on YouTube. Thanks a lot.